Good morning. My name is Deacon Tim Donahue. I'm a permanent deacon at Holy Name Parish in West Roxbury, and I'm coming to you this morning on the second Sunday of Ordinary Time in January on a very cold day, kind of a gloomy day with a storm coming tonight, and the day after the Patriots didn't do so well in Buffalo on Saturday. So I think we need this message today, a message of hope and love from three writers in the Bible: Isaiah, St. Paul, and St. John. The first reading I'd like to do with you this morning is the reading from Isaiah, because I want to focus in on some of the words that Isaiah uses and the uplifting message of hope that he shares. So let's start with a reading from the book of Isaiah. For Zion's sake, I will not be silent. For Jerusalem's sake, I will not be quiet, until her vindication shines forth like the dawn, and her victory like a burning torch. Nations shall behold your vindication, and all the kings your glory. You shall be called by a new name, pronounced by the mouth of the Lord. You shall be a glorious crown in the hand of the Lord, a royal diadem held by your God. No more shall people call you forsaken, or your land desolate. But you shall be called my delight, and your land espoused. For the Lord delights in you, and makes your land his spouse. As a young man marries a virgin, your builder shall marry you. And as a bridegroom rejoices in his bride, so shall your God rejoice in you. The words of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So, this morning, we're talking about these soaring words from Isaiah, and then words from Paul and from St. John. Let's see if we can find something in these words to lift us up today and get us started on our new liturgical year, which, again, we're in the second Sunday of Ordinary Time, just finishing Christmas time. Isaiah and Paul and John bring us into the new liturgical year. Isaiah is writing in the final chapters of his book. In the 62nd chapter, his comments cry out with hope for what Jerusalem can be in the minds and hearts and dreams of the faithful, and in the expectations of the Lord. Isaiah's words relate to our understanding of love as we best understand it, as the love between a husband and a wife. Isaiah uses these words to describe that love. He uses and refers to the bride, the spouse, the bridegroom. This love, Isaiah describes, calls out for a new Jerusalem years after its total destruction. And we are the center of that love. The city only works with the people who make it alive and prosperous. The Lord loves the people who make the city a glorious crown, a destination on earth of hope. And the attraction revolves around another love, the love of God for us. Isaiah's words lift up all the faithful. He calls us my delight, not forsaken. We shall be like a crown in the hand of the Lord, and a diadem, which is an ornamental headband worn as a badge of royalty. Isaiah did not say, you shall bow down before the Lord who has a crown on his head. Rather, Isaiah said the Lord loves us like a spouse. The Lord is so proud of us that he wears a crown or a royal diadem, which is a special headband that recognizes the importance we have in his eyes. When you think about it, if you walk into any of your houses, or my house for sure, you'll see pictures of grandchildren, of children, of aunts and uncles, parents. We adorn our house with these pictures to remind us of people who we love, who might not be there. I know in our home we have pictures of many of the grandchildren, and invariably when the grandchildren come in the house, they pick up the pictures and then point out each individual in the picture and announce their names. It's a curious ritual to me, but I love to watch the kids. And the frames don't always make it through the experience, but it's certainly worth watching. And so the Lord has a royal diadem he holds on to. And Isaiah is saying, look, the Lord's doing the same thing here. He has this crown, this royal diadem he's holding in his hand, and it reminds him of you, each one of you, of us, and of what Jerusalem can be here on earth. I'm also reminded of a story I learned recently about the Monstrance that we have here at the parish. The Monstrance, it was made when the church was built, and it was made with gold and with jewels from each individual parishioner. The women of the parish took family heirlooms and had that melted down and the monstrance made from that gold. If you remember, that was during the Depression. So as we make a special monstrance to hold a crown, if you will, for the Blessed Sacrament when we have benediction or adoration, as we made the monstrance special with special jewels, so the Lord holds us in his royal diadem, in his crown, to show how proud he is of us, as we are of the kids in our pictures, of our parents, of our siblings in our house, and as we are of him on our altar in this monstrance. St. Paul carries on our discussion of this relationship between the Lord and each one of us. In this reading, he talks about the special gifts that each one of us has. These gifts are not self-made achievements or special abilities that we can produce or change on our own. Of course, when we find or understand these gifts, we can build on them. In this idea of gifts, Paul is talking about the essence of who God made us to be, special tools or capabilities that we were born to find as we grow up. In the Gospel today, St. John begins chapter 2 with a wedding, a marriage ceremony. We know the Old Testament started with a wedding too, the wedding between Adam and Eve. And again, as I said before, there's no greater love, sacrament, than matrimony. The entire world exists because men and women get married and have children, and their children get married and have children. And as the children grow up and have children, we can see the love between a husband and wife and know that that is as close as we might be able to get to understand the love between the Lord and each one of us. So Isaiah calls out with vivid images to herald the proud Lord boasting about us in the city of hope. Each one of us strives to build in our families, our homes, and our communities of faith. St. Paul reminds us they were very special in the eyes of the Lord, so special that he's blessed each one of us with special gifts that make us who we are. And St. John completes our scripture reading today, our scripture message, with a story about a wedding. at the very beginning of his gospel book, putting an emphasis on love again, the love between a husband and a wife. The miracle of Cana puts a focus on the importance of love between one another. So the Lord is launching us into this liturgical year with a strong message of love and hope. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you pass this on to other folks and ask them to take a look at it. I hope the message warms you up on a very, very cold day. God bless.